President William Ruto has now directed all employers to comply with the directive to raise the minimum wage by at least 6% as recommended in 2024. President Ruto made these remarks during the 60th Labor Day celebrations held at Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi. Our reporter Blue Smile Hassan has prepared a report on Ruto's sweet deals for workers during the Labor Day celebrations.
This year's Labor Day celebration brought renewed hope for Kenyan workers, many of whom have long decried economic oppression and stagnating wages. Speaking during the 60th Labor Day commemoration at Uhuru Gardens in Nairobi, President William Ruto promised sweeping reforms aimed at easing the burden on the Kenyan workforce.
This country by 2030, and 2030 is not far from.
On the list of the president's pledges was a firm directive to all employers to implement a minimum wage increase of at least 6% in line with the recommendations made in 2024.
We cannot be prosperous if we don't make the right decisions. We cannot develop if we make the wrong decisions. We must make the right decisions for the country to grow. And I want to promise the people of Kenya that I will always make the right decisions to make sure that Kenya makes progress.
In what he described as a response to persistent calls from workers, President Ruto also announced that tax reliefs and exemptions will now be applied directly at the payroll level when calculating pay as you earn, ensuring employees take home more of their earnings.
Notably, to improve workers' take-home pay, employers will now be required to apply eligible tax relief and exemptions directly when calculating pay as you earn, a significant shift from the current system where such reliefs can only be claimed from Kenya Revenue Authority.
Turning his attention to retirement security, the president revealed that both public and private sector workers will now enjoy tax relief on pension and gratuity payment, a move he said will bolster financial stability in retirement. He once again praised the National Social and Security Fund (NSSF) savings scheme as a cornerstone of his administration's long-term strategy.
All pensions and gratuity payments for both the public and private sector will now be tax exempt. That after retirement, all workers will have a decent livelihood and they can have a good measure of pension and also make sure that they can have monthly income coming from their hard-earned savings when they had the energy to work.
In addition, President Ruto addressed concerns from workers in the sugar industry. He assured employees that no one will lose their job following the recent leasing of 5 state-owned sugar factories to private companies.
Tunataka tushirikiane namna hiyo, tufanye kazi namna hiyo, and I am very confident about the future of our country.
The head of state also congratulated workers for their efforts in growing the economy, praised the foreign job program, and did not forget to campaign for the Finance Bill 2025 and also called for the adherence to the regulations of the International Labour Organization. Blue Smile Hassan, KUTV.